friends. My name is Constance and this is Cruelty Free Musings. Welcome. Today I am going to talk about when not to buy things that are on sale. And my cat is going to talk about me being cruel for not feeding him. Life is so difficult. So, to begin, I have an arbitrary budget. It's arbitrary because I don't need to abide by this budget in order to continue to live in the setting that you see me, to continue to eat, wear clothes, have running water, etc., etc. I don't have to, if I don't abide by my arbitrary budget, my life will continue much as it is. Why do I have this arbitrary budget then? Well, it's because, like many people who have gone down the YouTube rabbit hole, I have spent way too much money on things I didn't need. On makeup, on... It eventually expands out from makeup. So when I first started trying to curb my makeup purchasing habits, I started buying a lot of notebooks and pens because I have an active journaling, sort of active journaling practice. And, recently I bought some yarn, which I haven't bought yarn in forever, but it's not makeup. So eventually I decided, it's not useful to just not buy makeup, so I set up myself an arbitrary frivolities budget. And this budget covers books and notepads and pens and clothes and makeup, skincare, hair care, and nail polish. Basically, things that I enjoy that are hobby related rather than being more directly, rather than being directly related to health and well-being, they are related to one of my hobbies, to looking fashionable, to, putting pretty powder on my face, to putting pretty colors onto paper. They're related to something that adds value to my life without being actively essential. So I have a budget every month, and I'm allowed to spend that money, that amount of money every month. And if I end up spending more, then I didn't really have any consequences for spending more money, but how it was theoretically supposed to work was when I spent all of my money, I was supposed to just be like, I'm out of money for the month. And that did happen once. So, the topic of this video is when not to buy things that are on sale. I was really bad at not buying things in July. Yes, Kitty, I know. Be calm. Be calm. Don't yell. There we go. So, I was really bad at not buying things in July. So, I spent my entire budget in the first week. Within the first week. And then I continued to buy things. And then I was like, this budget thing is definitely not working. And then, something that I really wanted went on sale. Yes, the Just Peachy Mattes from Too Faced. You might remember this from my wishlist video. That this was on my list of things that I would eventually buy, and I was planning on buying it at $45. And then it went on sale at Sephora for half off, which is $22.50. And I was like, oh, I bet that's not going to be on sale forever. Like, Sephora has been doing this thing called Weekly Wows, and they're not distinguished really from just the sale section. So, like, if you click on the Weekly Wow, it'll dump you into the sale section at Sephora, and it doesn't distinguish the Kat Von D Divine palette, which is permanently on sale because it's limited edition and it didn't sell super well. I would imagine it has been on sale for a couple of months, and the actual Weekly Wows, which they have been integrating palettes into, this was last week. Then the week before that was Subculture, which I had already purchased the first week of July, and that was part of why I was out of money. And then I had, and then it was some other palette that I wasn't interested in the first week. And I think it's a Violet Voss palette this week or something. Anyway, they've been starting to include palettes in the Weekly Wow, which is, you know, fantastic. You can actually buy things for half off at Sephora at not the VIB sale. But you know, just because it's on sale doesn't mean that you should buy it. So I do a thing, which is I check in with how I feel about a purchase before I purchase things. So the questions are pretty much, does it spark joy? Is it that indefinable something that I know I'm going to use? And then after that, I start going into the practical things, like, do I need it? Do I have the money to spend right now? Which, you know, arbitrary budget is arbitrary. But still, if I can't abide by an arbitrary budget, am I going to abide by a real budget when I have a mortgage instead of rent every month? If I can't abide by an arbitrary budget, how am I going to not spend all of the money? Like, how am I not going to spend way too much money on things that I genuinely want and genuinely love and will genuinely use? And how do I let myself play with the things that I already have and love? So this is a philosophical question, which is kind of inspired by Louise Poston, who has a YouTube channel self-titled. It's about her no-buy year, which I will be doing a no-buy 3 months, sort of. And I've been really thinking about the rules and my motivation for doing the no-buy and why I'm even on a budget at all. And it's really because I'm not happy with how I've been spending money. And yes, it's true that I really wanted this. It's true that I love it. It's true that I have loved the looks that I have made with it so far, all 2 of them. It is also true that it arrived in the mail, and I had a knot in my stomach when I unboxed it. Because I was like, as much as I love this object, and I would have paid twice the amount of money for it, I shouldn't have bought it at $22.50. I shouldn't have bought it because I was breaking my own rule. And that is a hard lesson to actually wrap your mind around, I think. I think that is why I perpetually fail at this arbitrary budget. It's like, okay, it's arbitrary. I have extra. I don't need this money to live. And it's not necessarily unwise to spend this money. And yet, if I have decided not to spend it, it breaks something that should be very solid and makes it sort of impermeable. Because after all, I have control over my spending. I can decide to do whatever I want to with my money. I have the complete ability to say, I'm not going to buy that. I frequently do it when I'm browsing ColourPop. I'll assemble a cart filled with beautiful things, and I'll weed my cart out and make sure that everything in it is something that I genuinely love. And then I'll look at the cart, and I'll be like, I love everything in this, and I'm not going to buy it. It's sort of a certainty that not only do I not need this, it won't hurt to not have it for a little while longer. It won't injure me. Did you know that? It never does. It never does injure you not to buy something immediately. And sometimes it kind of hurts to buy things, even when they're on sale, and even when you really love them. I love this palette, and I wish that I had waited, and I wish that I had not spent $22.50 on it. I would rather, in the end, have paid $45 out of a full budget when I knew that this was something that I really wanted to do with part of my month's money, instead of adding yet another sin to an overstretched, admittedly completely arbitrary budget. This purchase put me somewhere near double my arbitrary budget. I spent a lot of money in July, and it's the 23rd. I have a lot of July left. There are 8 days left in July, and I have already spent double the amount that I had budgeted. And that is an excellent sign that you shouldn't buy the thing on sale. I hope you enjoyed or learned something. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you feel like, and goodbye for now.